Hello, hello, and welcome back to the VANNtastic channel. I hope that you guys are having a terrific Monday. Did I just sound like a news reporter or maybe, somebody that does the weather? Because I need to be doing the weather because this weather is extreme. So I hope that you are safe. I saw this thingy on Facebook this morning where someone was without a heater in Nashville. So Nashville has really got dumped on with the ice. So say a prayer for those people and all you guys who are in this extreme weather. It is 3 degrees here. Three. And that's insane, right? So the idea is to stay warm. And I ought to have a weather map up here. What am I doing? I'll draw a map up here, right? Okay. All right. Hello, hello, Derek. So I wanted to come on here today and talk about changing your mindset. And that is just going to be a little snippet of what we're going to talk about here today. When you want to try something new, you're not going to have any success until you try it. So, I have people ask me all the time, does this really work? My Facebook group, if you're a member of my private Facebook group, there are some wonderful, wonderful people in there, and they're always answering all of these questions. They're always helping one another out, and I think it's great. And I'm turning off my phone in case you're wondering what I'm looking down at because I just heard it beep. So the idea is that the Facebook group is set up just so that you can ask your questions in there. Sometimes I will enter the questions, but you know what? Usually before I see a post, and I do check it every day, but usually before I even look at the post, there will be 5 to 10 people going in there and answering the questions. So I always read over the answers because I want to make sure that you're really, getting the true answers that I would give you in the event I answered the question. So when we have these people answering the questions, you're getting answers pretty quickly. And I think that that's just super wonderful. So I do love the private Facebook group, but I will have people go on there and they'll say, does this really work? Does anybody have, any experience with using velocity banking? And I want to laugh out loud when I see that because I know that the members of that group are going to go in and they're going to tell their testimonies. And I think that is so beautiful. I think it's wonderful that you guys are getting some financial answers, some that really work. All right, not just telling you, hey, you need to stop going to restaurants and eating. No, that's not the answer. The answer is, how do I use all of my income to serve me and my family instead of giving payments to the bank? How does this work? How can I make this work? Well, it works if you use it. You have to change your mind. You have to change your mind. So, I wanted to talk to you just a second about what does it mean to change your mind? What does it mean to make a decision in your life? Whether it's about finances or it's about buying a house or buying a pair of shoes. I don't care what it is. Are you making your own decisions? Are you thinking this out for yourself or are you doing what you're told? What your parents told you. Hey, we've always done it this way, so stay with it. We don't need the change. It works like it is. Obviously, it's not working for your finances. And it is so serious to me that I help the American people and people all over the world to get some answers. You deserve them. I deserve them. And when you don't know any better, you don't know. So, I have this guilt of that comes over that I hear that people have that it's all over them. The guilt of I got myself in this mess. I got myself in this mess, you know. If I hadn't have bought that house, if I hadn't have gone out to eat last week, it's always everybody thinks, oh my gosh, it's like totally my fault. There's no way out. I'm just going to have to suffer. No, 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 it's not your fault. I have videos all over my channel about that. It's not your fault. It is, you were not taught how to use your money. No, they told us in high school, you got to get a student loan, right? Raise your hand. We all heard that. We have to go to college, and I cannot tell you how they pushed that in the 80s. Wow. Did I go? Yeah, for about a year I went. I'd like, this college thing isn't for me. So thank God that I didn't go in to get a student loan. Thank you, Lord, for keeping me out of that mess. So you know what? It's you need to make your own decisions. If you are 65 years old today and you have made horrific decisions financially, and you find yourself at 65 still owing on a mortgage, still having a car payment, then guess what? It's not your fault. It's not. It's not. Because why? Because we weren't taught anything else. Do you know how many people that I work with in a day that say, oh, I'm so thankful I found your videos. I had no idea there was anything called a line of credit. Well, do you think that's your fault that you were never told that there was a line of credit out there for you to use? No, it's not your fault. That's why you were seeking and you have found the answers. You have. I mean, it works if you use it. If you'll change your mind and say, I'm not going to be controlled anymore. I'm not. I am going to make good decisions, but I just got to know what my options are. And that is all the channel is, options. You can take them all, or you can turn around and walk away. I'm not going to be mad at you. I am just here to try to bring you some peace. And wow, are we finding it? Oh, I have learned so much just since I started the channel. I'm growing every day and learning. I'm getting ready to offer new options for trust, setting up your LLCs, CPAs. I am expanding because I'm looking for options for you so that I can come on here and talk to you about this stuff, right? So, all of that being said, you guys probably know my daughter. She is going to join us and we're going to have some conversations here. If you haven't met her, get ready to meet her because she is my oldest daughter, Emily. And I'm always so excited when my kids are involved with the things I've got going on. She is my conference director, in case you all didn't know, and you saw how wonderful the Orlando conference was. We are getting ready to blow it up in Myrtle Beach. I cannot tell you, oh, hold on, I'm going to run across the room. I cannot tell you how excited I am about the Myrtle Beach conference is coming up. I can't wait. I can't wait. Welcome, Dina. I hope I said that right, one way or the other. Welcome. She is now a BFF of VANNtastic, being a YouTube channel member. So excited. This woman doesn't have a finance degree, so why listen to her? You don't have to, Adam. Walk away. Turn off the channel. Nobody's going to be mad at you. We are just so excited that you decided to come on here and say that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to bring Emily in. I get so tickled at you naysayers. You are not going to be able to offend me because guess what? I don't even care for people who are against the velocity banking. Maybe your problem is that you've been listening to your financial advisor. Oh, wait a minute. There must be some reason, the reason that you showed up on a finance channel. Oh, it wasn't because you had it all figured out. Maybe you're in trouble like the rest of us are with how we're using the bank. That's what's going on here. I mean, I may not be a financial advisor, and thank God I'm not, because I work with financial advisors throughout the week. And guess what? They've never heard of a line of credit either. They've never heard of the debt blaster. They've never heard of Money Max. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Emily, welcome. Hello, hello. I
Hello, how
hope
are
I hope
you?
you guys can see her okay. Isn't she just a beauty queen? But yes, she is taken. She's taken. I have another daughter that's not taken, but this one is taken. So I hope that you guys are going to enjoy our conversation today. I'm going to go through here just a minute, Emily, and respond to a couple of people because we do have a lot of comments. Everybody is so precious. We have Northern California in the house. Hello, hello. Wyoming is in here. You have no snow. Well, good for you. Good for you. We have just a little bit, but it's so cold out there. We've got Orlando, Florida in the house. What is the Facebook group? I'll put that link in the chat here while Emily and I are talking, and you'll be able to join that if you like. Derek says, I've had my questions answered a few times in your Facebook group. I've enjoyed the feedback from other people in the group. I think they are awesome. Very good people. Let's see here. Hello from North Carolina. We've got a lot of people. Emily, I brought up the Facebook group because I was talking about how people talk in there.
Yeah,
And I didn't mean to advertise the private group, but I don't care one bit for people joining it. When you ask to join the group, I do analyze your profile because anybody that comes in there to post a link of their own, or, some people they go on and they put these investment groups in there all the time
yeah,
and you get banned. So if you come into the group, please be aware that I am watching what's being posted in there, and I have people in there that report to me throughout the week. And if your name is in there and I see anything that's advertising anything, you're going to be banned. I'm just going to warn you because we are just Americans and we do have Canadians, UK, Australians in that group, but everybody is in there helping everybody get free. So I am excited to have that group. Emily, I'm going to go in here to my Facebook and let everybody that wants to join that, they are welcome to.
yeah. That's a
Okay, so before we get started here, Emily, I wanted to, because I was just talking to them about making decisions. When you make decisions, they should be your own. It shouldn't be, what your mama said. We do this because we've always done this. That should not be what we're doing in our lives. And I did not learn that until I was considered an old folk. I just always went with, well, that's just the way it is. And Mom said I'm always going to have a mortgage payment because, well, who can afford to pay for that big house, And I mean, you really got to think for yourself. And that is just not something that we're taught to do, just like we're not taught to use our money correctly. But if you guys have heard, everybody knows Ronald Reagan, right? Ronald Reagan, he was quite the president. Pay for that big house. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Hold on, people. When I go to my Facebook and do that, it will literally start replaying what I've already said, and it's quite hilarious. But Ronald Reagan, his mother takes him to a shoemaker. You guys have probably heard this, but I'm going to tell it again. His mother takes him to a shoemaker, and the shoemaker says to him, "Okay, we have the square toe and we have the round toe. Which would you like?" Well, he was about 10 years old and he just could not make a decision. And he's like, "Well, I like the square toe, but I like the round toe and I just don't know what decision to make." And so they left, and in a week or so the shoemaker called him back and he said, "Hey, got your shoes ready, come on by and pick them up." Well, when they went over there, little Ronald Reagan had one shoe that was square toe and one that was round. And he was like, okay, it's kind of odd to have two different shaped shoes for, one pair. And the shoemaker said to Ronald Reagan, take this as a lesson. Never let anyone make your decisions, because that's how crazy other people telling you what to do, what's right for your life. That's what happens, is you get something that you did not want, right? You get the results that you did not want. So the idea is to watch the channel. Don't just watch mine, skip around. There's all kinds of financial advice out there. And I'm not even an advisor, as someone pointed out earlier. I am literally just working off of experience here. And you know what? I kind of would like people that's had the experience a little bit to tell me what to do and give me some advice. So I hope you guys, and I know you guys are learning. I'm so excited that you're here. And now, Emily, I brought you in because I want to talk to you a little bit about your experience with the Money Max and how that has worked for you, because I get so many emails in a day saying, what is the Money Max? That doesn't even make any sense to me. What is the Money Max? So now that you've been using the Money Max for probably 3 months, I guess, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
What do you think the Money Max is?
So I will start out by saying that I did not get my mom's mind when it comes to finances. I watch her videos, I love it, but as far as the velocity banking goes, it was very hard for me to do my own numbers on a weekly or monthly basis. I do have 2 accounting degrees, so you would think that that would be easy, but this new way of doing your finances, I was taught like your financial advisor was, I was taught the old way. So I didn't know these new tricks. And it was really hard for me to learn. So I opted into the Money Max route. And it is a form of automatic velocity banking. So instead of me sitting down every few days or once a month and doing my own calculations and doing my own finances, I have this little financial advisor in my ear showing me the new way to do it. So I have not paid interest in 3 months. I have taken years off of all of my debt, which I'm very blessed that, my mom, she did not allow me to get student loans in college. She made me work for what I had. So I did not have the crazy debt that a lot of people my age have. So I'm very blessed, but you have to have a car payment, unfortunately, in this world we live in. My husband and I were looking at purchasing a home. So we're looking at our options to do that wisely. So yeah, I mean, that's honestly the reason I opted in for the Money Max. I wanted something that was going to do it for me and make it simple, and that was my best option.
So what do you think is, if you had to tell somebody what the Money Max actually does, can you break that down into a little more detail, just coming from somebody now that's used it?
Yeah, so before, and I'm sure some people on the call here understand, every month, every few months, you're gonna have a little bit of extra money and you're gonna have to make decisions with that. So some people, such as myself, they would just put an extra $100 or an extra, so whatever it be, on credit card B, because you're like, oh well, that way it pulls the principal down and I'm making a good decision. And what I've learned using the Money Max is if I make a payment on the 9th of the month, the entire payment might go to interest. Versus if I make it on the 17th of the month, it might all go to principal. So I've learned from doing that I myself, I'm not a bank. I don't have that kind of algorithm. I'm not that intelligent. So when you take the bank's math and you mirror it, which is what Money Max does, it mirrors that math and it shows you strategically how to pay and when to pay within your own means to take everything and apply it to principal. You're not paying interest anymore. So it's a step-by-step guide. It literally, I mean, a child could use it. It's very simple. It's just like a chore list. gives you things throughout the month, advice on what to do and when. And once you do it, you check it off and it disappears and your list for the month gets shorter. So it's almost like a game. You really do enjoy it and you see the progress as it goes.
Wow. Okay. I haven't heard it described as a game before. And the reason, that and for you guys watching right now, when I heard how much Emily was enjoying it, and the reason that I even suggested it to her was because she's kind of like the rest of us. She was like freaking out about the debt. It was like, she had the car payment, she had all of the other expenses, and she was like, I can't do the velocity banking. I don't have that line of credit. And to kind of tell people a little bit here. You do move state to state. You have traveled so much because of what you do with the conferences and everything. So you're not like me, for example, that was sitting at a desk job and I was able to sit and pull up my account every few minutes and, transfer monies back and forth and keep, just if you're a busy person out there, and I'm talking to welders and pipe fitters right now because I have worked with you and I know the very stressful life that you guys live out there on the road, girls and guys alike. That is one hellish position. And if you are married to someone that has to travel for their work, please give them some grace. Please understand why they're exhausted, why that they are just overwhelmed with what's going on. And the one thing that I experienced while I was on the road working with these guys is one, you're exhausted. You are exhausted because when these plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, oh my gosh, the welders, when you're out there and you're hoofing it every day, right? It's exhausting. And we're talking 7/12s. That's 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. And usually, if you want a decent place to live so that you don't get murdered around these refineries and stuff, then you're going to live outside of the city that they sit in. And getting in a safe space. That's what we would do. We would be about 45 minutes from the job site. So by the time you drive to the job site and then you work 12 hours and then you drive back to your camper or wherever you're staying, you're exhausted. And who has time to think about the finances? I literally remember when I was on the road in East Chicago, I was exhausted like that to the point that I was not watching what my accounts were doing because I didn't. First of all, cell phones are not my favorite. And certainly looking up stuff on a cell phone, I still don't like that. And it was like so like overwhelming that, okay, I'm not going to look at the account today. So I would go sometimes 7 days to even check up on what was going on. And that was so frustrating because you would miss a due date and then they would charge you the fee because you missed the due date. And it just went on and on and on. But had I known about the Money Max, I probably would have found that of great value because, I didn't have time to go in and, okay, let me look at my list. Let's see, this due date is here. It's it's crazy. So when I learned about the Money Max, which was about 2.5 years ago, I had just heard of it and I had to try it out for a while with people because I wanted to make sure that it was really going to work and this wasn't some kind of scam out there that they were putting together so everybody would pay money to get into this thing and it not even work. I hate stuff like that. So Emily, I had her go into the system, check it out, see what it was like to use it. She has loved it from the very first day. I can't tell you how many times, Emily, you've sent me a text and said, "This Money Max is great. Why isn't everybody using this?" And I didn't know because I have it, but I've never used it for debt yet. And I plan on it. It's why I bought into it. But, just hearing you say that, and then, I have my daughter-in-law. She also is using it and absolutely loves it. And then the people, that come to me and they've looked at it for their free analysis and sometimes have bought into it. Most times it's like you just love it because it does the work for you. So I had Emily trained in how to use the Money Max so that I could ask her questions, or I could send somebody to her and say, "Hey, how does this look?" Running their numbers through it, and she can give me feedback. So I absolutely love that. And that's why I'm going to have webinars with her where she sits and shows you how these things look, how your numbers look in this. Because, I tell people, hey, it's just an option. It's an option. Emily, I'm also wanting you to get involved with other things that we do with the infinite banking, with, setting up the LLCs, just things that we can go over with people so that they can have very quick answers to what options that we have available out there that we're not even aware of, right? So when I have someone that requests a Money Max review to me directly, and I have several that come through in a day, when I email them over to you, what is the very first thing that you look for?
So we go over their worksheet. So they'll send me a worksheet, and I'll explain to them, yeah, straight up, like I'm with VANNtastic. I'm not with Money Max. What I'm doing is a little bit of insight. I want to know where people are coming from, what their needs are. I want to ensure that they're receiving the highest quality care and everything, because Money Max is a lifelong product. Like, you're grandfathered in as soon as you have your Money Max, you'll never be charged anything additional. So it's important that you like it and you use it. So first thing, we go over their worksheet and we take a look at their expenses, debts, income, and we make sure that we have all of the information, because the analysis, it's a machine, it's a robot. It doesn't have any feelings. It doesn't care how it comes across. It's going to give you facts based on what you provide. So yeah, that's the number one thing that we look at. We make sure we have everyone's information all together. I kind of turn into a financial therapist because there's always a reason behind these debts, and people feel guilty. It's really sad because they are like, "Oh, well, this is maxed out, but this is the reason why." And I'm like, listen, like, I know my mom hates this, but a few years ago, I got into like insane debt because I had a dog that one day just developed seizures. And they were very intense seizures. Like, they would not go away till you took them to the vet and they got special shots. Like, it was very serious. And I was totally taken advantage of. But that threw me into amazing debt because I was just trying to save my beloved animal. And yeah, it was a whole situation. But anyway, I say that because, like, people, it's not your fault that you're in these situations. Something I always show people, the analysis will show you your breakdown. So I was stuck. Like, my debt was growing every month, even though I was making payments. And when I did the analysis, I learned that's because 95% of my money every month was going towards interest and not
Wow.
principal. Because my interest rates, they seemed fine. But what I didn't realize is that the credit cards, they had reduced my minimum payment to only cover the interest. So I thought that I had a great monthly rate, but no, instead they had played that trick on me to keep me in debt. So the interest either grew or just, got satisfied every month. So you really develop a heart for people in this because you just don't know what's happening till it's revealed.
I know. And that is, you did tell me the other day, you said, "I absolutely love working with these people." And that's exactly the way I feel with my one-on-ones. When I'm involved in a one-on-one meeting, I'm all in. I am going to listen to what they're saying. I feel what they're saying. We cry together. So this is not just a job to me. This is getting people free so that you can think about something besides how in the world you're going to make that next payment. And so when I hear of something, you know, I've had people come to me in the negative cash flow, and there was nothing we could do with a line of credit, but yet the Money Max would come across and run their numbers and it works. And I'm like, that's crazy. So I named this video, It Works If You Want It To, because you have to take the ideas that the channel sends out and you have to say, okay, yeah, no, I don't like that. I'm not even going to try that. Well, then guess what? It's all about you. It's what you want. And if you don't want to end your financial turmoil that you're in, then that's your prerogative, and I'm not mad at you. But if you want to try to find some peace with your finances, you have the options here on the channel of, like I said a minute ago, velocity banking. That's all I've ever used. It has changed my life completely. You know, we offer the Debt Blaster now. That is nothing but software that shows you how to use your line of credit. And then we have the Money Max. That shows you how to use your money without a line of credit. So, I mean, you have options. So if you're sitting over there and you're hurting right now and you're so stressed out, and you know, if you're like me, you cry yourself to sleep some nights because you didn't know what you were going to do about money, then take these options, take them. They're all free analysis that we hand out. Nobody is going to pay to find out what one of the options will do for you. That's the whole idea, again, of the channel, is to throw these ideas out there, let you know they're even available so that you can decide what you want to do with it. Emily, I'm not kidding. The other day, I had a guy come up to me, and it was local. And he said, I've watched your channel. I really like what you do. I really like that. That makes so much sense. But you know, I just really don't want to change.
Wow.
Silence is in the room because I'm like, okay, hold on, you must not be in the financial mess I was in, because it wasn't about wanting to change. It was about I was going to go under and not to be able to make any payments, not to feed my children because I did not know what I was going to do about money. So change for me, hey, I jumped up and down at the idea that, wait, there's an option for me. So, you know, some people will be like that guy. He's like, I just don't think I want to change. Well, then sit there and pay interest. You know, I mean, what do you say? Uh, I've never been mad at anybody that said, hey, I just don't want to do that. Well, okay. Uh, don't. I literally feel that way. But guys, if you are looking for options, I am learning every day and trying to throw out these new things to you because I want you to get some information. You know, when I first started, I only could teach velocity banking because that's all I knew. When I had clients I couldn't help that couldn't get a line of credit, that's where the Money Max came in. I went out looking for something to help people where I couldn't help them. And I'll thank God forever for the Money Max. John Washinko is the most brilliant man I've personally ever met, I think, as a creator. He did wonderful with that. You know, we even can offer it to people outside of the US now. For a long time, I didn't know there was an option for Money Max outside of the US, but we have an option for that now. I mean, that's so exciting for Australians and the UK and Canadians that are in crazy mortgages up there. And gosh, it goes on and on. The Debt Blaster and that creation, infinite banking and how that works. I mean, so many ways to get free financially. And I use them all. I have them all. I don't use, like I said, the Money Max because I don't have debt like that right now. But I absolutely know I'm going to in the future. And because that's a lifelong product, I'm going to have access to that. So, if you could say anything to the American people about you're young, I call you very young, you're 30, you're going to be 31. Are you 31?
Yep, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay. Hold on, people. I don't even know how old my children are. So, Sydney is 29?
Sydney's 28.
Oh, you're 3 years older than her. Oh my gosh. Okay. I just need to shut this down. I'll go take a nap.
It's late in the day here, people. It's late in the day.
It's been a long day. Okay. And this is a Monday. That's right. You're 3 years older than Sydney. Lord have mercy. You'll never forgive me for that. So 31. And you know what? I didn't even get into a situation, or not into a situation. I didn't even come to the knowledge until I was about 35, 36 that I learned about velocity banking. So all of my adult life up to that point, I thought there were no options. I was like, okay, I'm just making payments. I'm just going to be poor because Jesus said that we were always going to be poor. No, he didn't. Oh my gosh. No, he didn't. Oh, that makes me so mad when I hear people, oh, you're a Christian. You're on, you got to stay down here because if you go up here, you won't be humble. And, the Lord wants you poor so that you be humble. And no, what? That is not in the Bible anywhere. So, guys, if you're thinking like that, break free because Jesus said he came to give you life and life more abundantly. So, that's something to get excited about. Emily, I was talking to my other daughter this morning and she said, 2026 is going to be better. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I said, we're going to do anything that good that we can set our minds to do, and it's going to be successful because the favor of the Lord is all over our lives. The favor of the Lord is all over this YouTube channel. So if you are out there watching right now and you feel like you're out of options, I am here to tell you, do not think that way. Change your mind and know that you're going to make a decision and you're going to go with it and you're going to change your whole life, especially financially. But when you live like the one that is standing in you, beside of you, has got your back with everything, you can breathe. I almost took a deep breath while I was saying that because that's just the way I feel when I think like that. So, there's so many facets to what goes on in our lives. And I believe every single experience is for you to help someone in the future. That's what it comes down to. And I just want to thank the Lord right now that he gave me an avenue to help hundreds of thousands of people to come into financial peace just because I took a minute to make a video. And I'm so thankful I did. I never dreamed that this channel would turn into what it has. And what are we at? 437,000 subscribers. And that means 437,000 people have heard this message of getting free without getting frugal, without the stress of keeping that budget to the penny. I just couldn't live that way. And I don't expect people to live that way. So I'm just super excited for the people. I'm super excited for myself because it's like when you have options and you're open-minded enough to look at them, it's probably going to change your life. But you have to be open to change. Okay, so I'll quit blabbing here. I'm going to go back up here. We've got a bunch of comments and I'm going to kind of skip down here. Like I said, Dinah is now a Facebook member. I'm sorry, not a Facebook member, a YouTube member. What does that mean when you are a YouTube member of this channel member? What does that mean? That means that you get access to the previous webinars that we've had. I have to do that. I have to put that under something because people paid money to get into those things. And for me to just go through and post them on YouTube, that's kind of not fair to me. And I want to be fair across the board. So that's why the YouTube membership was set up, is so you can have access to all of the previous webinars that I've had. What else? Let's see. We're talking about discount tickets on the upcoming conferences. So, for example, the ticket prices are up now on the April conference in Myrtle Beach. Not much, but just enough to cover that food expense. We kind of gave an early bird special there, and we may offer some more specials. We're not sure how we're going to do this, but the YouTube channel members are going to get the early bird rate. So that's another reason that we set up the membership, was so that you can have access to previous webinars. You can have access to the future webinars, and then you can get discount tickets if you want to come to see us in person. And yes, Emily's going to be there because, like I said, she's my conference director. And you don't know, I never tell you, as a matter of fact, because I don't think of it. But people that come to me and say that is the best conference I've ever been to. And they're traveling all over the US to conferences. So you do a superb job at being the conference director. I just appreciate that so much. And now that you know the Money Max, another thing we talked about last week was that I want you to learn about setting up the trust and the LLCs, and let's get people help with that, because I get people, I had an email today and somebody said, do you have any recommendations for a CPA? And I'm like, yeah, I actually do. So, just when people come to me with questions, I want to give them an option. I want to give them the option on the lenders, so that these lenders do things the way I do them on Velocity Banking. The Money Max. I have a team for the Money Max so that you will get that set up right if you buy into it. I have the team for the trust and the LLCs now, and the CPAs. So God has been so good to expand the channel to where we can offer the options, and then people can take advantage of them. That's literally what it's about. So I'm going to look at some more questions here.
While you're doing that, I was just going to say really quick that we've got to get you using the Money Max, because it's not just for the debt elimination, it's also for the wealth building. So that's something that once, I hit my debt-free date, which is a guaranteed thing, which I'm really looking forward to, then you actually get to start moving forward with wealth strategy. So that's really good. But you can also use your system to look at different options. So my husband had a car breakdown, so we had to consider different options for him. So we actually put those into the Money Max to see which would pay off first, which would keep our minimum payment down, which would be a better option. So you can learn to use it to project expenses, which is very nice. And you also said, like, that person that didn't want to change, that, Jesus wants us to be poor. It's okay to be poor. That's not like, I'm not saying that's an awful thing. Like, some people are in terrible situations, but if you have the option every month to save even $1 from going to interest, which interest is your banker's pocket. That's their swimming pool that they have that you don't. That's their $7,000 suit that you'll never have. So instead of that $1 going to your banker, give it to the church, give it to an orphanage, like, give it away. It's okay to stay poor. Give your money away, though. Don't give it to someone who's already got generational wealth. So that's all I wanted to say while you were looking.
That's a very good thought. And a lot of people say the more you make, the more you spend. I don't agree with that. The more I make, the more I give. And that is, it's what you were saying, is why not? You're giving the money away anyway to something that is of no value. interest. And then, like she said, why not flip it around to where you stop doing that and then you start giving like you want to give, like you've never given before. I know that I am. I'm forever grateful for that. It has been a pleasure to be able to give. And the idea is that your dollar that you're spending is actually going to what you want it to go towards, which is purchasing that home you want. We want you to have a home. We want you to have the nicest home you want to have, the car. But why buy it and pay interest? Why not to figure out financial means that's going to help you prevent what you're paying in interest so that you can put your money towards actually paying off that debt or, like she said, giving it away. I think that that's a beautiful thought. Is the vault something I can use in Norway? Wow, that's a good question. I think so. I'll have to ask that question, but I don't know why. It's just a software. The Money Max is something that I thought was for US only, but there is the pill method that's outside of the US. So I didn't know that there was something like that. And I really recently came to understand that that system can be used outside of the US, but it has to be set up to be used outside of the US. So that is good information for anybody in Norway or anywhere else. The difference between the vault and the Money Max. Emily, answer carefully because this is my software. But
Well,
what do you think the main difference between the Money Max and the vault is?
so I would say do both of the free consultations because both of them are options, both of them are tools. From my personal experience, as well as client reviews and talking to people, Money Max is faster 1000% of the time. You will get where you want to go faster and you will save more interest along the way. Money Max also has unlimited free training and coaching. So if you don't understand any little bit, you just call someone up and they explain it to you right on. So that's my understanding, but I'm sure you know more than I do.
Well, the main reason that I see it works is because if you do not have a line of credit, if you cannot get approved from a financial institution for any kind of line of credit due to your credit score, due to a high DTI, MoneyMax can still work with you. The Vault, you have to have a line of credit. So I think they're both wonderful. I just think that, it depends on one, how deep you want to go into debt elimination and how you want it guaranteed that you're going to get at the debt elimination date that it tells you. That's the difference is the Money Max just is an algorithm. It's AI, so you're not going to beat that. But the Vault is a wonderful software to be able to show you how to move that money around in your line of credit to eliminate interest. So I say they both are extremely useful. It's just, the type of person you are and what you want to use. That's literally what it comes down to. Um, they're just so much good in both of them. So I was reading through here, and Emily, listen to these people are so wonderful. It says, it works. I'm not someone who is easily misled by the latest craze. I started this 1 year ago last November in 2024 with a hope of eliminating the stress of debt, and it works. So that's beautiful. I love that. Let's see. During the past year, there were 2 times when unexpected financial problems arose, which delayed my progress, only temporarily, but then I got right back to putting my cash flow onto my debt. Very good, Roxanne. I love when people are just so excited. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's see. I am today at 69 years old. a widow left with a hefty mortgage and credit card debt, and now debt free of all credit except my mortgage, which is way less than when I started Velocity Banking. How do I not get excited about this stuff? I swear. I so wish I hadn't had half the degrees I have. Had I listened to my instincts instead of other people and my parents, I would have gone to army like I wanted to and been debt free. I think serving in the military is super awesome. Emily, your husband does. I'm very proud of him. Thank you for serving if you're out there and you serve. I don't know what we would do without you. I'm just so appreciative of all law enforcement, all military, because you guys and gals are doing something that I don't have the nerve to do. I'm just going to be my husband. He's a retired canine handler, and he worked in maximum prisons for 5 years, and then he went to being the dog handler. I call it. It's canine in his words. But I told him I don't want to go visit people that are incarcerated just because I don't know anybody. One, and two, it's just somewhere that that's can I call it scary? Because you've got all of these people together that have, bless them. I just hate it for anybody that's in that situation. But to me, that's just kind of walking in there, being a corrections officer. Wow, bless you. Because, I mean, what's it going to do to make somebody mad that's already been mad obviously enough to do something to be in a maximum? And I just appreciate so much the people that work to protect us, to make sure that we're safe. And uh, I guess because I've had to use law enforcement twice in my life, and I saw how quickly they responded. I saw how um, they just took control. And I was like, thank you, Lord, because I wasn't married at that time and didn't have anybody to come to my aid. So, I just want to come out here and say a minute that I'm so thankful for people who serve in the military, for people who are in law enforcement, because you make the place a better place to live, the world. And I don't care if you're here in the US or if you're outside of the US. I hear about what your husband does even in the military, and I'm like, it scares me to death because he's on airplanes, and everybody watching knows that I am scared to death of flying. But he tells me his stories of things that he does at work, and I'm like, I'm going to be sick. Thank you for sharing, but no, I couldn't handle that. So, just when we hear about people and the law enforcement and what, sometimes they really have to get in the middle of these dangerous situations. And I just tell you, I watch cop cams every day of an evening because I just like to see, I like to see what they're facing and leaving their families of a day and them wondering if they'll come home, and some of them don't, and that's just so sad. So I like to give recognition where it is due, and it is to those people that are serving. So I deal with veterans a lot. That's super sad because they've served our country and now here they are in debt, and they're 50, 60, 70 years old. And wow, that's just so sad to me because I just feel like that nobody, especially if you're over 50, 55, it's like you've paid your debt to society by paying all of that interest, and it's like it should end somewhere. But that's not our reality. Our reality is we have to figure it out. And guess what? We have options now, and I'm so excited about that. So she has real life experience, worth way more than any degree. We've got Winnipeg, Manitoba in the house, and I have no idea where that is, but it sounds beautiful. Have you been to Winnipeg?
No, I've heard of it though. Let's see. Let me look it up.
Florence, Alabama's in the house. Um, can I get a line of credit if I'm on a limited income from 68? Absolutely. It may not be a large one, but you may not have a large income and you don't need a large line of credit. So I absolutely have people that can still get the lines of credit. Doesn't matter if you're on a fixed income.
Winnipeg is in Canada, and I feel very bad for not knowing that because I should have. So it is it's a capital city. It's important. Yeah.
Well, we've got the Canadians in the house as always. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I don't travel too much, so I don't know where these places are. I know, Emily, you've been outside the country like a couple of times, right?
Yeah, I've been to Montreal a few times for conferences, and then I've been to South America quite a bit just for fun. So yeah, I've been
Wow.
around a few places.
Yeah, not into those plane flights, but okay. Finally made it to alive. Just got a $20,000 line of credit in Houston. Congratulations for that. This month I've started my journey, gained 400 in cash flow. Thank you. I can breathe. Does that not make it worth what we do here? I love to get these stories. Um, I filed bankruptcy that took over my financial freedom from 2018 through 2025. And they're in a 2-year waiting period. I think what they're talking about is after you file bankruptcy, you have to wait a couple of years before you can get into any kind of mortgage to buy a home. It's coming. Hang in there. You're going to do just fine. We've got cold Colorado in the house. We've got Leesville, South Carolina in the house. Somebody says, Renee, she says, I was literally praying for God to show me what to do about my finances, and I came across your channel. That's the same thing I did, Renee. I was praying about it. Let's see here where I started today, it was a -2 degrees in Mount Vernon, Illinois. It warmed up in Kansas City to 30 degrees. Oh my goodness, you're way up north.
Right.
Hello from Arkansas. Recently started doing velocity banking and it is working for me. I absolutely love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing with that. We're suffering without the snow, scared for the farmers and ranchers in the spring without snow this winter. Very strange. Gosh, we don't have snow here a lot. We don't have it a lot. We got a little bit now. Wish I'd know about velocity banking. We all do. We all do. In Indiana, freezing and snowed in. Catherine, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so glad you're watching though. Uh, Ronnie Reagan had the best jokes. I don't know. That was in the 80s when I wasn't really into politics, right? Too young for that. I took what you said and ran my own spreadsheet, compared it to the spreadsheet I was already running for paying off my second mortgage. Are we going to finish that sentence somewhere? I hope it's working for you. It is with great joy we reach out to communicate with one of beautiful daughters that's with you. We also share our amazing testimonies. Yes, I have been a mortgage broker who helped many with elimination, I'm assuming, debt elimination. That is awesome. You don't know how many financial advisors and mortgage loan officers that I've actually worked with.
I think I know who that is because I actually met with that person recently, and now she's helping other people or going to getting the process of when they get their mortgages to actually not pay interest on them, which is amazing. Yeah.
That is, wow, okay. I've got Money Max and have Harrison's team helping me redo the house to get into a first lien in 6 months. Yay for you. So happy for you. How do we get involved with the Money Max? That's a very good question. I never even thought about answering that question. So I guess I could put my link to the Money Max in the chat. Let me do that. And anybody that has questions, I can get you. What I would really like to do is hold a webinar so that people can actually see what the Money Max looks like, and then they can sign up for their own personal analysis at that time. But people, if you come into a Money Max analysis where you're getting a review of your numbers, you have to have my worksheet completed, meaning all debt with balances, payments, interest rates, all of that you have. And you have to have your living expenses, your household expenses, your car expenses. It's so important that you have everything listed that you will spend in a month. And even those unexpected things like a birthday party where you buy somebody a gift, you have to have things like that listed, because the Money Max is a guaranteed system and it analyzes what you turn in. And if you don't turn in your numbers right, then it's not going to give you a correct analysis. Okay. So if any of you decide to go through that link, and I'm just going to say this before I post it, be dead serious about having that worksheet completed, so that when Emily or whoever gets a hold of it, they're going to be able to enter your numbers while you're sitting there and show you exactly what that Money Max can do for you. Okay. If you're not going to do that, please don't fill out the form, because one, my email is crazy enough without that, but two, you cannot get an analysis unless you have that worksheet ready to go. Okay. So I'm going to put that in here so that everybody, if anybody that's interested in the Money Max, can, if I can type and talk at the same time.
I'm traveling next week for a conference, or I would be happy to, help out a few people. But I will be available the first week of February. If someone wants to have like more of a conversation while you're running that analysis. So yeah, happy to help.
Okay. So, hold on a minute. Let me answer Dinah. I hope I'm saying her name right. It's Dina. Is that Dinah or Dina?
Depends on her preference. I do not know.
She says, "Hi, Christy. Thank you." Oh, it's Dina. Dina. I'm sorry, Dina. I have been saying your name wrong. Thank you so much for your lessons and guidance. Velocity Banking has helped me to boost my credit score 200 points. Wow. And get approved for a $10,000 PLOC. God bless you. God bless you, Dina. Thank you so much for sharing that. I just love it. Another one. With God's help, I ran across your page 2 years ago. I have paid off a vehicle with your Velocity Banking. Thank God for you. I fall asleep listening to your videos. Thank you so much, you diva. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. There is no growth in the comfort zone and no comfort in the growth zone. Amen and amen to that. Wow. Such good information. Okay, one more thing before I let you off of here. And we've got New Zealand in the house in case anybody was watching. That works in New Zealand. Oh my gosh, I don't know how things work outside of the US. Okay, people, I don't. So I'm sorry. If you can get a line of credit, I'm assuming that it'll work for you. I know the pill method works outside of the US, so that's the Money Max here. So maybe, just maybe, you could try that, but I can't even share my experience because I've not lived outside of the US. Okay, so someone wants to know about an explanation of velocity banking and infinite banking. Maybe here just in a minute, but I want to. How are some of you paying for Money Max? That's what I was just getting ready to say. A lot of people are asking, how much is the Money Max? And I used to say, because you guys are going to get mad at me, but I talked to the owner of Money Max a few months ago, and I said, why are you letting the system go so cheap? And it made no sense to me. It made no sense to me why he wasn't charging over $4,000 or $5,000 for the system, because of the decades that it saves my clients even in mortgage payments. You're not going to compare what you save to what the Money Max costs. So we were talking a few months ago, and I said, people can't afford $5,000 up front. They just can't. And I said, there has to be an option out there so that we can help people get into the system without having to, have all of that extra debt loaded up on top of them. So he really worked with that for a while. And he came up with a plan to where it's now a subscription. And what is super exciting for me with the subscription is, let's say we get somebody that wants to use it, want to try it, and you pay the minimal down payment and $97 a month to have access to this, and you decide, I love this, I want to do the buy-in. That he allows every payment that you've made up to that 6-month period to be applied towards the balance on buying into a system. I told him, I said, then nobody has a reason. Nobody can now say, oh, it's too expensive for me, because he has set up a way for every American to be able to afford the system. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys, whether they do a complete buy-in or they choose to do the monthly subscription, you already calculate that into their debt and their monthly payments, right?
Yeah, so when you do your analysis, everything that we show you, because I mean, the analysis is good even if you decide not to do Money Max, because it's going to teach you a lot about your debt health, we'll call it. So yeah, everything that you'll see is assuming that you've already purchased your program. It has a little bit of a different cost depending on your debt, how much you're carrying, and how much the program has to work to eliminate that. In my experience, showing people this program, cost is never the issue because you stop paying interest when you start using Money Max. So all that money every month that you're throwing into a banker, like that's free now. So now you are easily able to do the monthly payment. So the Money Max, when you are shown your price, it actually tells you how to pay for it. The system reviews
Wow.
the information that you've given it, and it will tell you, oh, if you put this amount on credit card 2 and credit card 4, your minimum payment is going to be $80 for the next such amount of time, and you're only paying principal on that. So sometimes, a lot of the time, it's actually more affordable to just go ahead and do what the program says instead of the subscription. But the subscription is amazing if you want to use it for a few months, gain some faith, see it working, and then stop renting and go ahead and buy. But again, it just depends. Like the math can't lie. You just have to have your
Mhm.
analysis run and see what the math says about you.
Yeah. So I had a client just this past Friday. They did not want to do the buy-in because of that fear. Because they're like, well, I'm not sure it's a scam. I want to see if it really works and all such as that. So when they came to me on Friday, I said, you don't have to do a buy-in. You can just pay the subscription if you want to and still be able to use it. And then within 6 months, if you decide to buy it, then John allows you to take every payment that you've made towards that price and do the buy-in. And once you're in, it's lifetime. So there is no upgrade fees. Even for the Max Pro, there's no upgrade fees. I was so surprised about that. So I don't know. I just think that, if somebody's looking for that option that actually does it for you, that tells you exactly what to do, then, the Money Max is a great thing. But I'm not going to downplay the Vault or just Velocity Banking. Do something, because you're throwing away money right now if you are just making your payments. So make a decision. Don't continue to let somebody. Okay, I'm sorry. I just had this thought of this client I had last week, and they said, I can't talk to anybody about velocity banking. They think I'm crazy. they're like, okay, I can't believe that you would believe that stuff. And they're like, I don't believe it. It works. It's like there's no way to not believe in it. But she said, when I talk to friends and family, they are like, sounds like a scam to me. I'm not going to do it. Well, that's what I'm talking about with the people that will not make a decision. And they're so just the information that they've learned from childhood up, they're like, well, Daddy always said this was the way you do it, so I'm just going to do it like Daddy did. Well, I mean, that's your prerogative, but there is definitely a way that you don't have to spend a bunch of money on borrowing from the bank. And when I say that, that's what the interest is. They're charging you for using their money.
You are
So
renting
let's
money. You are renting money, and money is very expensive to rent. So you have to learn how to not pay the rental fee for that money. So yeah, you just need to pay for what you actually purchased and stop giving away the extra cash. And also stop taking advice from broke people. Like if daddy was broke, then you don't want to be broke. And if honestly, I mean, even think of some of your financial advisors. If they're in a shoebox down the street, you really want to take it, like, no, you got to have more self respect and you got to look at your options. So,
right.
with the subscription, even, if you were to go down that route, there's no contract. You can try it for 1 month and decide if you like it or not. With the videos on VANNtastic or anyone else who is teaching this, try it, like, give it a chance, let it start to build up and see for yourself. That way you're not just missing out on the possibilities.
Right, right. And you said it so well. That must be coming from a woman that has accounting degrees. Renting, renting money. I never even thought about that. You're paying rent on that mortgage just to use the mortgage, same as your car. That's a new thought. I'm gonna have to use that in a video. Are you renting your money and they're charging you so much to rent it? Oh my goodness, so expensive.
And
Where do I get your worksheet? The worksheet is in the description below. I can put it here in the chat for people that are wanting to put a worksheet together. Maybe I will if I can find where it is. Okay. And when you're talking about renting the money, and remember, we're talking about everybody doing it. It's not like that, I was the only one involved in it. We're talking about so many, 97% of the American people that are into renting money at a higher cost than they have to be just because we don't know any better. I don't care if anybody gets mad at me about that. We're just not taught how to use our money. We're not taught that in high school. We're not taught that in college. And so, guess what? We get to search the internet to find our answers. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Okay.
if you think
Okay. I
about
have the
it
worksheet.
too,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you think about it too, say you got a mortgage, $350,000 12 years ago. If you had that in your bank account, that $350,000 would not be worth $350,000 today because money does not consist, of the same value. What you are doing is not only is that banker getting what the money is worth, but they're doubling it just about in every case in interest. So you think your
Wow.
house is worth $350,000, but why are you paying the banker 520? Like that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, people they don't understand the actual value of their house, how much they've actually paid for it by the time that mortgage matures.
Yeah, I worked with a couple just last week that out of their mortgage payment, they had $116 going to the actual balance of the home,
yeah.
what they actually borrowed. The rest of it was going all to interest. And yeah, they went into the Money Max. I'm not going to say their names, but you did work with them because when they saw how much of that was going to flip, where they were no longer paying all of that to interest. I think that's amazing. What is the average that you see as far as, if somebody has a 29% credit card debt and say they have $50,000 on credit cards. What do you see Money Max bring that percent down to overall? Do you pay attention to that?
Oh, absolutely. But what you said, that would even be extreme. Money Max would destroy that. The people I'm working with, they think they're doing well. Their credit cards are between 19 and 25%, which, to the average bird, that's not terrible. And some of their credit cards are maxed out. Some of them have little balances, so they don't feel super pressured. Even in those cases, I mean, when you're able to take, on average, we are, what I'm saying is the effective rate is down to about 1.2% interest on everything.
Wow.
Mortgages, HELOCs, PLOCs, lines of credit, credit cards. So when you're paying effectively 1.2% in interest, then the banker is probably going to start wondering why he's not, getting his bonuses. Like he's like, where's my money? So yeah, that when you see how much you're paying in month in interest, which is usually between, for the people that I'm seeing, they're paying at least, gosh, 68 to like 85% interest every single
Oh
month.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
so they're not making any progress whatsoever. Your banker, he doesn't send you a Christmas card, so you need to start rethinking where you're putting your money at.
I get it. I get it. And that is so true. On average, I see people that are paying between $3,000 and $4,000 a month in interest only. And I don't care if they're making $5,000 a month or if they're making $75,000 a month. Everybody is throwing away money, and my average has been 3 to 5,000. Really, no, to 5,000. I said four, but these high interest mortgages that are out right now, whoo, I mean, all day long. And you're talking a lot of money. What would you do with that money if you had it, going towards paying off your debt instead of just throwing it away to the interest? What would you do with $3,000 a month? I mean,
No
and some of you
one.
guys are making the extra payments. That's what doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because
Go
they're
ahead.
going to interest. Those extra
Yeah.
payments you're making, you're just giving the bank a little extra bonus because you don't know when to pay it and how, which is wildly frustrating. But yeah, I mean, I had a thought there and I completely lost it. So
Well,
sorry.
yeah,
I ask people. So when I'm looking at it, if I'm doing Money Max or the other, when we see how much that they are spending a month in interest, when we see the grand total of what they could save, I was asking, like, what would you do with that every month? Or what would you do with that lump sum? Like, I can barely ever get an answer because people don't know. They literally, like, they're in shock. They're like, well, $3,000 a month. Like their first thought is almost putting it back on debt, but you don't have to do that because that's not your problem anymore. So I think people don't know how to be free. Like that's what's kind of scary is they don't
yeah,
know what they would do if they actually were in prosperity instead of poverty.
yeah. And I've said it in the videos before. Had I realized how easy it was to gain cash flow with doing velocity banking, I would have had enough money for you guys to have gone to the bookstore. I don't know if you remember back when you were in elementary school, even, and the book fair would come to the school, and I knew it was coming every year, and I knew that, $5 is what you all needed just to maybe get a book or something out of there. For a parent, that is just rips your heart out because it's like, I have to tell them no. I have to tell them no that I don't have $5. And to me today, that seems insane, but that was real life. And I remember too, the lunches, this free lunch thing that they're doing now for people, at the schools in my area anyway. It's like they pick a school that's going to get free lunches, I guess, for so many months or the year. I'm not sure how they do it because it's not a concern of mine anymore. Paying that $3.50 for your kid to eat during the day. But wow, I remember even with the reduced lunch rate that I got for being the single parent at the time, um, I don't remember. I think it was $1 or something. And I sit down and add it up one day and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's $10 a week for 2 kids. How am I going to do that? And that's sad. And that was my life. And that's just the way I knew it. Um, so if I was freaking out about you guys, I think it was $1.20 was the reduced rate that you guys got to eat every day. And just the feelings that come back to me of how that was life and how stressful that was, that I couldn't afford to do $1.20 a day for 2 kids, which is 240. I don't know if people are out there in that situation. I just want them to know there's a better way. I don't care what you choose. There's a better way to live than not being able to supply the basics. I am going to tell this and we got to go. But I remember when we lived on the house at the Buffalo area. I don't know if you remember that, Emily.
Yes.
But when we lived there, I was in the bathroom and I saw that the roll of toilet paper that was hanging was almost gone. It was almost gone. And I literally thought to myself, how am I going to get toilet paper today? How ridiculous is that? And there may not be anybody watching this very second that's in that situation, but there are people in that situation that are watching. What am I going to do for toilet paper? Because it's kind of like food. You got to have it, right? And it was just like I thought to myself, okay, what am I going to do today? And I don't know, I don't remember how I did it, but I came at the Dollar General. They used to sell toilet paper rolls singles. So you could buy one, and I don't remember how much it was. I want to say it was 50 cents or something ridiculous at that time. And so I ended up being able to get a single roll of toilet paper that lasted us until I got another paycheck where I could go buy a whole pack for $1 or $1.50, whatever it was in the 90s. And that was real life. And if you're sitting out there right now and you're going through that, please, the videos are free. Watch the videos and free yourself from living like that. That is so unnecessary. And
Yeah.
if I couldn't buy a roll of toilet paper, just what's that been? 15 years ago?
Say more, a little bit more than that even, yeah.
And here I am today, and I can run out and not even think about how much I'm paying for toilet paper, which I still tried to. I'm not ridiculous. I'm still not somebody just, oh, I've got the money, I'm gonna go, I don't do that. But just, doing that meal out a week with your family, making sure your house is supplied, being able to let your kids, have a movie night with their friends or whatever. That's not too much to ask. We're not asking too much to be able to be good providers. We just have to know that velocity banking works. If you want to get even more detailed and get serious about getting out of debt, we have the vault, we have the money max, we have things to help you get started. And that is all that I truly desire, is for the American people and people all over the world to get free. And here's your options, guys. So I am so glad that you joined us here today. Emily, I'll let you go so that you can go do your thing, and we'll see you next time.
All right, thank
But you know
you.
what, guys? I am so excited that you're here, that you got to join us to hear just us talk about, some options that you may want to look into. It's just about options. It's just about finding ways to get some financial peace in your life. And if you are a parent, and a lot of you may be, but if you're a parent, I know what it feels like to not be able to supply the needs and give your kids some things that they want, things that they need, a new outfit. Is there anything wrong with them having a new outfit? I don't know, once a year. And whoa, when school would come, it was about to open up, and here we are. It's time to go back to school. And you had to buy school clothes? Are you serious? Do you know how the pressure of needing to buy the school supplies, needing to buy them a new pair of shoes? And no, we're not talking brand name. We're talking Dollar General stuff here, Walmart. And it's like, that is so real. That is so real. I still feel that. I still feel when you would see all of these kids and they had your kids' school friends and they had these fancy pens and pencils and they had the fancy notebooks and here my kid is like getting by with the very cheapest thing that I could find to buy for them. And no, there was no fancy in their backpack. Okay. Like I said, I feel you. If you are in a position that you are just trying to figure out how to get by day to day, not week to week, day to day, I am praying for you that you find the answers. And I hope that it's on this channel. I don't know. It's not for everybody. But for goodness sake, do something, because where there's a will, there's a way. And if you're praying about it, I promise you, you're going to get an answer. And I'm excited for you. I want you to come out of the pain. I want you to come out of the frustration. And I want you to stop crying yourself to sleep. I want you to stop sitting at the kitchen table with all of your bills spread out in front of you and your pay stub, trying to make everything match up so that you will be able to make the payment and not have to wait until your payday and then watch your paycheck just fall through your fingers. I mean, it literally just slips through your fingers. And then you look up the day after you get paid and you say, okay, I just got paid yesterday. Why do I not have $50 in my account to get me until my next paycheck next week or in the next 2 weeks? That is so scary. It just, I can't even, the words. If you've not been in that situation, then you may be sitting here thinking, oh yeah, no, people don't really live that way. People don't, they're not in the position they're about to have to leave their home and go live with somebody because they can't afford to pay their house payments. They can't afford to pay their rent. That's real. And for any of you guys who are not in that situation, then congratulations. Congratulations. You're probably richer than most people on the earth. But if you are in that situation, I want you to know that you're going to find the answer. Just keep looking. Keep looking, because you're going to find the answer and you're going to stop that. Okay? I swear, people, I know where you're at, and I just want you to know that you're really, really not as bad off as you think you are. And I know that sounds a little haughty for me to say that, but I wasn't in as bad of a situation as I thought I was. I just didn't know that I had options. I didn't know that there is a better way to live. And that's what the 3 to 5% of Americans that are financially free know. And we're kind of the other side of that. We're the ones over 90% that don't even have $1,000 in our savings. That 1,000 that you're supposed to get built up over step 1 that I told you the baby step 1 that I never could get to baby step 2 because I couldn't even get the $1,000 saved up. Yeah. I know how it feels. And somebody screaming at you that it's your fault because you're going to have a meal out at McDonald's with your family once a week. Don't get me started on that. I think that's so rude. I don't think it's your fault. I think that it's the system that you're in and that there are ways to live on top of the system. And wow, isn't that a beautiful thought? So that you can get free. I'm excited for you. Hello, hello. We got New Jersey in the house. Oh my goodness. Hello, hello. That's why we're here. We need you. You need answers. That's what you need. And you're getting them. So excited. Some will, some won't. So what? Velocity banking works. End of story. Thanks, Christy. Thank you so much for that. No garage guy. Yeah. An explanation of velocity banking and infinite banking. If you watch the channel, you're going to know the difference between velocity banking and infinite banking. Two totally different concepts. Velocity banking is using a line of credit to roll that amortization schedule debt into so that you're freeing up cash flow, which is now helping you to pay down the debt so much faster in about a third of the time. If you run the numbers through the vault, the debt blaster, you're going to see that the snowball compared to velocity banking, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. I mean, they're just not. It's going to take about the third of the time to pay off the debt compared to any other method that you use out there. It's just math. It's not magic. It's not that, somebody's giving us a bunch of money. It's just math. It's the way you're paying off your debt. That's what's killing you financially. And infinite banking. Love it. I have 6 policies in the infinite banking concept. It's wonderful. I love it. It's using whole life policies that are specially designed and engineered to grow at compounding interest and paying dividends. And you're able to use it and not have to just leave it sitting in some fund that you can't touch until you're 59 and a half. And then they're going to tax the hell out of you when you do pull it. So, sound like a good thing to me. Sound like a good thing to me. So, I love them both. I'm a little involved more in infinite banking than velocity banking, but that's just because it took me about 6 years, 10 years maybe, to understand the infinite banking concept because I was so covered up with debt, I couldn't breathe, and I had to get free so that I could think about something besides my debt and being broke and living paycheck to paycheck. So once I thought, okay, I'm breathing now, I'm feeling pretty good, I'm making it to the next paycheck, then I could start looking at infinite banking to see, okay, what is this? How does this work? And why is it good for me? So again, 2 totally different concepts. One is to build wealth with your income and to really feel good about your savings and what you're doing with income. Velocity banking is using the line of credit to get everything done that you need to do financially and without paying all of that interest. Okay. Let's see. So you're doing something wrong if your credit score is going down. Mine fluctuates. It will be really, really high for a few months and then it'll take a dive and it'll be low. I don't even care. I have the line of credit that I'm working with. All that tells me is that I'm using more of the limits that I have available in 1 month than I do another month. I don't care. I already have my lines of credit set up. I don't care if my credit score goes down to 600. I have my line of credit. I'm revolving it. I'm using it. That just tells me that I'm using a little more from one month to the next. If I get my credit run, if somebody pulls my credit report because I'm trying to get another line of credit, common sense tells me, oh, my credit score is going to take a dive because they pulled my credit report. Okay, so there are going to be things that will plummet your score for a month or two. Whoop-de-doo. It goes back up higher than it was before, because the point, we're not blowing money with the line of credit. We are trading debt so that we can get out of the high interest, putting it into something we can revolve with our whole income. And as we start bringing the debt down, our credit score goes up. I mean, I know we've got people watching here right now that they maybe took a dive at first, but now, like somebody said earlier, their score is up 200 points. So when somebody tells me, well, my credit score is just getting lower, well, it's because one of two things. You have high utilization going on. Maybe you're not using your line of credit the way it's best for you to use it. Maybe you're not charging right on your credit cards. You're not using the credit card debt strategies correctly. Maybe you had your credit pulled because you're trying to get another line of credit. If you're in velocity banking, that's the only two things that could make your credit score go down. Is one, you've pulled credit or you've pulled some debt into a line of credit and you raised the credit that you're using up, meaning above that 30% where they act like they want it. Okay. Mine this past month or two, I had one of my lines all the way up to where I think I was using about 70%. Guess what happened to my credit score? Right. Did I panic? No. I said, oh, I know why that went down. It's because I'm using more of my credit. Right? And then when they pull your score, that's the only two things with using velocity banking that will make your score go down. And when it goes down, it's going to start coming right back up higher than it was before because you're using the velocity banking concept correctly. Okay? So it's wonderful. And nobody can come to me and say, oh, Christy, that's really bad. I can't believe you're teaching people that. Well, guess what? It worked for me, and I'm tired of being quiet about it. I'm tired of acting like that the big gurus out here have got it going on by telling you to be frugal, and it's all your fault, and you should never buy a new car, and you should never buy a house until you're ready. Stop. Let's get real. It has nothing to do with the things that you want. It's how that they've told you you have to buy them. Period. You make $5,000 a month. Why shouldn't you be allowed to go out and eat at a restaurant sometimes? You make $30,000 a month. Why shouldn't you drive the Maserati that you want to? It's not about how much you make. It's where is that money going in interest. So people that really have a negative on velocity banking, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm just going to be clear because I've done the math and I've done it and it works. If you want to stop being negative Nancy and try some math, you're going to see that it's going to work for you too if you know how to use velocity banking correctly. I'm going to start calling it VANNtastic banking because I think it's freaking fantastic. I think that it should be taught in the schools from the time you're in 5th grade up. I think there should be college courses to tell you how to use velocity banking because it's fantastic. That's why I named the channel that. It's because not only is my husband fantastic, but it's just fantastic. Oh my gosh, did that just do that? I love this watch. Okay. Is it going to do it? Oh, here it goes. Yeah. Did you all know that that does that on Zoom? Me and John Washinko with Money Max was talking the other day, and he went like this, and all of a sudden a thumb went up, and we're like, how'd you do that? And so if you just hold it up there, it's going to happen. Oh my gosh, please. I'm a crazy person. That's so funny though. No, wine, that's not true. That's not true, wine. You're whining. Okay? So you can have your opinion, but when you have an opinion like you're showing in this chat, you just told me you have not studied velocity banking or money max enough to know what you're talking about. Period. So you can go to another channel that teaches you how to be frugal and all that fun stuff. Because the idea for any option that I talk about on this channel, it is to help you to get free. And if you don't like it, go to another guru and figure out what they got going on, because it is all about you getting free. That's all it's about. And you can judge me. You can judge the people that I work with. I'm not, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. So I have to get rid of naysayers because they're obviously coming from another channel and they want to sell an investment, or they want you to pay interest at their bank or something. I don't know. But the thing is that if you are studying how your finances are going to work with velocity banking, with the money max, with infinite banking, then you're going to see that it works, because it works. Period. It's just math. It's just math. And if you know that 2 plus 2 equals 4, then you can do velocity banking and see how it's going to work for you. Period. So because we had a whiner that was being negative about everything that they obviously know nothing about, I had to hide them from the channel, because you're not going to come in here and discourage people when we're just doing math. I get mad at stuff like that because people have suffered so much financially, and they're 65, 75, and 85 years old right now, and they own nothing because they did it exactly the way the system told them to do it. And guess what? They're living on a fixed income now, and they can't afford to buy toilet paper because they've always played the game the way they were taught to play it. And then you come in here and you try to give people new ideas, a new option, and you have somebody that doesn't have enough couth to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to figure out how to do this before I say anything negative about it, because I really don't know if it works or not. But no, you want to come on here and discourage other people? I'm not going to allow that. I am not going to allow that, because we need encouragement in finances. We need answers in finances. And this place gives you something else to think about financially. That's all it does. Take it or leave it. I'm done venting. I just want you to stay encouraged. I want you to stay encouraged. Have faith in the process. If you don't have faith in what you're doing, keep watching different videos to take different ideas and apply them to your finances. Try them out. I'm always telling you, start in baby ways. Don't jump headfirst into some kind of first lien HELOC if you're not comfortable with the process first. I'm not an advisor. I'm going totally on experience here. So do it. Just do it, or keep your mouth shut and go to another channel and stop being so discouraging to people that are already having a hard time. That is so rude. That is so inconsiderate of somebody to come on and say something negative when you don't even know what you're talking about. Wow. Where did that just go? I'm going to have the editor edit out that rant because I always had people doing that to me. Just like I was telling you about Ronald Reagan's shoes at the beginning of this live, is you've always had somebody telling you, this is just the way we do it. This is just the way it is. Yeah, you have to have a mortgage until you die. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, you can't have that new car, bum. I can't believe that you would want to take your money and buy a new car when you could go over here and buy a used car that's a piece of junk that you're going to have to put repair money in probably every month that would have totaled a car payment. Sorry. Sorry. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys. I know that you guys are excited about your financial lives again. I know you're excited about having options to a strategy that you never thought of before, that you never even knew was a possibility. And I appreciate your support, but I know what I'm doing here. I know that this is the way to live financially. I know I'm not doing anything wrong. And wow, I had somebody send me an email today, and you just had to laugh because they were like, you're always telling people not to pay gurus for help because the videos teach you everything you need to know, but yet you charge $189 to talk to somebody one on one, and I just can't afford you. Well, then go watch a video. Everything I teach in the videos are free, and it's exactly what we talk about in the one-on-ones. You don't hire me to tell you something that you didn't hear on a video. You come to me if you want me to look at your numbers and say, hey, if I were in your situation, I would probably do this. So stop sending me emails complaining. I have an assistant that reads them and we laugh together. I mean, I'm sorry. No disrespect, but yeah, I kind of am. And sorry, not sorry. The idea is that we're giving you answers to all of your financial questions and you can get excited about your life again. And like I said, I swear, we laugh out loud at people who say things on the channel in comments and who say things through email when they're just being ridiculous. And it's just laughable how silly people can be. I swear, keep sending them because it gives me a minute in my busy day to laugh with Cheyenne because we just think some of this stuff, which I very seldom, I bet I haven't had 5 negative emails in 2 years. But wow, when people send that crazy stuff, I swear it's hilarious. I wish you all could be here with me. I think I'll start reading them out loud so we can all laugh together because it's so ridiculous what entitled people will literally have the nerve to send you an email and write about entitlement. That somebody is supposed to do something for you because you're so lazy that you don't even want to watch a video to think for a minute about how you may be able to figure out your financial mess on your own without paying one dime to anybody. It's hilarious. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Oh, it's so crazy. I've been telling my family and friends about this for years, and not one of them takes any action. I now don't even bother. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Sitting here, literally, wow, I just thank the Lord. I'm just so overwhelmed by his grace and his love to allow me to learn about this, and was so excited. I couldn't wait to tell my friends and family. I couldn't wait to help them figure out what they could do for free, and them still stand back and go, I think that's too hard, and I don't want to even know what you're talking about, so I'm just going to stay over here living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, okay, then okay, don't bother me. Watch a video. It's so funny. Somebody the other day that I know well, it's completely broke, living paycheck to paycheck, will take a handout, but not a hand up, and literally said, oh, I need so much, send me a text. I need so much help with my finances. Do you know what I said? Because I've already tried to work with people over and over. I'm not begging you to take responsibility, but I literally responded in a text. Go watch a video. So you know what? When you're trying to talk until you're blue in the face to get people to stand up and take responsibility for themselves, it's not your responsibility. Show them one time, maybe two. If they ask questions, answer them. But if they have that attitude of like, okay, that just sounds like it's too much. Sounds like it's too much work for me. Not, I don't have time for that. Then the next time they come and say, oh, I'm so broke. I don't know what I'm going to do about my finances. Then you can say, well, my answer is go watch a video. There's over 1,500. Each one teaches you how to use a line of credit and your other options. Go watch a video. Yes, he who has ears, let them hear. Wow. If that ain't the truth, my husband said that last night. He said, if they don't have ears to hear, then they're not going to hear it. And I'm like, thank you, Lord, that I am not put on this earth to save people. I am put on this earth to plant seeds. I am a seed planter. And I will help you any way I can help you as long as I see you're trying to help yourself. But I'm just going to plant seeds. I'm going to plant seeds about Jesus Christ. I'm going to plant seeds about, the blessings of the Lord. I'm going to plant seeds financially to help people. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this channel to help you break free. I'm planting seeds in your mind. You are responsible to water them and to grow. It's your responsibility. I'm planting seeds. There are haters for everything. Everything. You are not going to please all of the people all of the time. And I don't even try to. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to show you options to get you free. And that's all that this is about. So I'm just telling you, do not let people discourage you. Do not let, because Satan is everywhere and he is planting seeds of discouragement in everything and with everybody. And he's got our teenagers so depressed that they want to kill themselves. How sad is that? When we've got this beautiful life here that we each one could be using our purpose to help somebody else, bring somebody else up, show them a better way. But then we got Satan out here that's like, oh, you're 35 years old. You should already have a house paid for and a car and your retirement fund set up. So you must be a loser. Oh, look at you. You're 62 and it's time to retire and you're in all of this debt. You must be a loser. No, you're not a loser. You just didn't know any better. You didn't know that Jesus himself said, I've come to give you life and life more abundantly. I know I say that a lot, but people do not know that that verse is in there. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't know that God himself, the creator of the universe and my father for eternity, said, he will supply all of your needs according to his riches in glory through Jesus Christ. All. All. There are so many scripture that talks about your provision because you are his. I'm not going to let my kids go without. Are you? If my kids need something and they come and ask me for something, I'm not going to tell them, oh, go on your way. You're over 18. I've raised you. Go on. You're done. No. No. That's my kid. I'm going to take care of my kid. As long as they're not out here acting like a bunch of crazy kids doing stupid, out doing things they should not be involved in, then I'm going to help my kid. And you've got that too in the creator of the universe. This wow, created everything, and you don't think that he can give you enough money so that you can live without being stressed out about how you're going to make it? Dude, I just feel thankful that he is here and he is working in all of our lives. For anybody who wants him to work in your life, I just think it's beautiful. Yes, thank you, Lord. Yes, Money Max is on a subscription. So for every dime that you pay into Money Max up to the 6-month period, you can buy in, and whatever you've paid for those 6 months, you can buy the system for whatever's left on your balance. So yes, thank you so much for your super bucks. Is that what they're called? I think they're VANNtastic bucks, but thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. A line of credit, just Jesse, a line of credit. Oh my goodness. Yes, if it's not clicking, if it doesn't make you excited, keep watching. Lots of free info, great info, and life saving. I agree. So thankful, Tom. Thank you so much. I just joined today. So happy to be here. I am so happy you're here too. I'm so happy. Oh, wow. I am blessed. I thank you so much for that. And it's about helping the people. Oh, I'm so happy you love Jesus too, Jennifer. Thank you so much for that. Christy, you need to offer a beans and rice detox program. Isn't that so true? Chris, you are our credit nurse. You guys make me so happy. You just make everything worth doing, and I just appreciate that so much. I can't imagine being entitled when Christy has been doing nothing but help all of us. I need all the help I can get. So thank you a million times over. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much, Heather. I loved meeting with you today. Thank you so much for that. I met Heather today. She is like super awesome. I want to be like you when I grow up. Awesome. Wow. She's just everything real estate. And I loved meeting you. I knew by hiring you that I would get a personal look at my personal portfolio and led by a master. I'm sorry. No, thank you for reaching out, Heather. I'm so excited to see what you've learned from everybody that you're going to get to talk to over till we meet again. But you're going to have the answers to these options in your own personal situation. And then we can talk again about which one you're going to choose, the strategy you're going to use. That's so important. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you as well. Let's see. God can move mountains, but you better bring a shovel. Yes, he expects you to help yourself. So thank you so much. Tom, are you a member of the channel? Because your name is coming up really, really green. So are you in the channel membership? Is that why? Every comment you make, it's coming up in these bright green, pretty colors. I'm not a loser. I was just uninformed. Yes. Yes. So get excited. Get excited. Wow, thank you. What a compliment. Ditto. Keep shining, Christy. I have already had 2 appointments and looking forward to working through the possibilities fast. Wow. Okay, they are moving fast. Oh, Tom, you are a member, a channel member, so that's why you're in green. So I guess if you are a member of the VANNtastic channel, it tells me that the members' comments will show up and be prioritized. So I guess that's what it means, is that your name is going to come up in special colors so that I know you're a member and I will look at your comments first. So thank you so much, Tom, for joining. I'm really working on the channel's membership. I want that to be a place where you can get the previous webinars we've had, where you can get discounts on future things that we're going to have. And I'm going to have live specifically for the membership. And like I said, people pay to get into the conferences and the webinars that I do, and it just wasn't fair to release that back onto the channel. So I have people write me all the time, can I pay to go ahead and have access to the webinar? And so now if it's on the channel and you're a channel member, then you have access to that because you're paying to be the channel member. So that way you get access to everything and not have to pay the big amounts for previous webinars. I didn't like that, so I didn't know what to do, but I figured this out and I'm like, this will give access to people that didn't come to the actual webinar. Let's see. Signed up for a consultation with you. Looking forward to getting a plan together to get my debt paid off quick. I am so excited to meet you. I just hope that we can come up with a strategy that is going to make a difference for you. Live way below your means. Oh, that is not true, Bill, but I appreciate the comment there. I appreciate that you took the time to write that silliness. Yeah, I'm so excited to see you live. I'm so thankful for the Lord bringing you into my life. I was able to get a HELOC and start Velocity Banking in November. You have blessed me more than you know. Thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing that. I appreciate that. Jennifer Smith, I see your comment. My story mirrors yours. Real change came when I fully surrendered to Jesus and left my abuser. Since then, grace upon grace. The last 3 months, dream car, income nearly doubled. Praise the Lord. Jennifer, isn't that amazing how that works? Isn't that amazing? Thank you so much for being a channel member. That's why I saw yours and Tom's. It just really flashes up in these pretty colors and it says, hey, you got a channel member. That is awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, guys, I am going to jump off of here. I'm pretty sure I've been on for 2 hours, and I never do that. How long have I? 2 hours. Oh my gosh, I have a life to live too, so I've got to go see what my kid's doing upstairs, see if my husband's alive walking around in the house somewhere. I haven't seen him all day yet. So I'm just so excited that you joined me today. I am excited for you. God knows that I pray that this YouTube channel really, really brings answers to the world. I'm so excited that you have joined me today and you've shared your comments. I just appreciate each one of you and your support. And we're going to keep growing together. And I'm excited to grow together. I'm so excited for the in-person conference coming up. If you want to be a part of that, there is a link below. I want to tell you this. I was so surprised at how cheap we got the hotel rooms blocked in South Carolina that it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Some of them are oceanfront hotels. Some are a hotel right across the street from the facility. But I'm having people write me and say those room rates are great. And I want to thank the hotels that are doing that because, you know, it's expensive to travel, but if you know that you can have a vacation in Myrtle Beach and we can have these meet and greets together, that will be super awesome. And I can't wait to meet each one of you. So I am so excited. Okay. Thank you so much for all of the beautiful comments. I love you guys too. You're welcome. It's my pleasure praying for you and your channel. Wish I could go to that, but it's right when I'm going to be moving to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, you go, girl. Thank you so much for watching today and for joining. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.